So what are your thoughts here? Let's keep this pretty quick. Are modern women delusional?
My honest opinion on this is I think modern women, and when I say modern women, I mean women that have adapted like a modern way of thinking, more on like the feminist side. I'm Miss Independent. I make my own money. I know my worth. I'm a queen. Those type of women, I think, they've been influenced by certain movements, and they are delusional in the sense that I think they don't realize that it's causing them more harm than good.
How dare you?
Right? We just had a conversation previously about how like there's women that are pushing 40 and they still don't get it, that like you're running out of time. You know, you can't be almost 40 years old and still be running around hoping you're going to find some guy that makes $500K a year and it's going to put you on a yacht somewhere. So.
Agreed. I think women are delusional, straight up. They have all these standards and they expect all these things from men. Meanwhile, they're pushing 35, 40, 45. Yeah, women are not going to be happy to hear that, and they're expecting all these things from a guy. Meanwhile, the guys that were willing to give them that, time passed by because that could have happened when they were 22, 23, 24, 25, around that age. And they were just out partying and, doing girls' trips and, screwing around and sleeping with a bunch of men. Now they're looking to settle down and get locked in and get the house, a guy with the house, cars, family, all that stuff, wifey. And men that can provide that, all that lifestyle, are now looking at women at the upper tier of the age of 35, 40, 45 or higher.
Even when you just listen to other women on podcasts, when they have these conversations and they go back and forth, women always tend to say the same thing. Like, what do you bring to the table? What do you bring to the table? So again, it's like, it's a level of, it's like delusional, but it's also ignorant. It's a little bit arrogant to just like, oh, I deserve, what do you bring to the table? And everything's always like me, me, me. So these, women that have adapted to this kind of like modern way of thinking, something made them be that way. That didn't just happen out of nowhere. And I think they've been influenced. Women are pretty easily influenced, and different movements like feminism has kind of like reprogrammed how they think. And, once one does it, a second one does it, it becomes a thing. And now they all kind of like, well, women generally hang out together in groups, they travel together, and they all gossip and they all influence each other. So that's why I think it's gotten to the point where it is now.
Here's the rundown. Modern women are delusional. Why? They want a guy that's making not just six figures, but higher than that. Not just a basic $100,000 a year, $200,000 a year, $300,000, maybe $500,000 a year. Some women even say seven figures.
And don't forget, he has to be loyal.
And he has to be loyal. And he has to be 6 foot tall or higher. And he has to be independent. And he has to be confident. And he has to be assertive. And he has to be a leader. And he has to protect her. I don't know if I said that already. May have not. He has to be strong, work out, have some social status. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. All those together, you're talking about less than 0.0001% of men. Now, if you look at them separately, it's still a low percentage. You don't have many men out there that are making, 4, 5, 600K a year. You don't have many men that are 6 foot tall or higher. And then you combine them with some other things, and the odds just drop. So, are women delusional? Yes. It's you want these things that you pretty much can't have, and that's what women like. Women like to want what they can't have.
And also, like I said, the fact that they can't really like recognize and understand that if you're like 38 years old, you don't have the same like sexual pull as a 21-year-old, a 25-year-old, anybody that's younger than you. So how is it realistic that you could get older and older, and some of these women, as a matter of fact, now that I think about it, they increase their standards as they get older. It's insane. So
And they increase their standards, and they end up not getting anybody, and they just keep partying into their until
lot
their
of these
50s
women-
and 60s. I imagine.
they're going to end up alone. Most of them are going to end up alone.
Get the cat food, get the dog food, and make a cat and a dog your friend, because that's all you're gonna have.